Hello and welcome to another battle replay video by Lord Snake. Today I played as the Greenskins and my opponent played as the Vampire Counts. We fought on the battlefield of Praag, which is way up north, so I'd imagine that Azhag was probably coming back from getting a few of his arcane relics up north there, and he was intercepted by Mannfred Von Carstein, who wasn't too pleased with him getting these artifacts. And on my opponent's team, he brought Mannfred Von Carstein on the back of his skeletal steed there. He also had the unit of renown for Crypt Ghouls, 2 units of Dire Wolves, 2 units of Grave Guard, a unit of Grave Guard with great weapons, 2 units of Black Knights, 1 unit of Hex Wraiths, 1 unit of Blood Knights, and 2 units of Crypt Horrors. On my side, I had Azhag the Slaughterer on foot as my lord. I had a Night Goblin Shaman on foot, as well as a Goblin Big Boss on the back of his Spoida mount. 4 units of Orc Biggins. I also brought 3 units of Savage Orc Error Boys, as well as a unit of Doomdiver Catapults, a unit of Orc Boar Boy Biggins, and a unit of Broken Tusk Mob on the other side, which is the unit of renown for those. And finally, I brought a Giant. So the battle began here with my opponent sending his cavalry down south and his dire wolves up north. Meanwhile, his infantry and his monsters went down the middle here. You'll notice that the dire wolves are moving quite a bit quicker than the cavalry is. They don't have to carry humanoid figures on their backs, neither do they have to wear armor. So they get to move completely unencumbered, which allows them to move much quicker. I had that Doomdiver Catapult taking some shots at the Blood Knights. I wanted to whittle them down as much as possible before they got to the melee. My opponent brought these dire wolves around to get a rear charge in on my archers. Seeing this, I decided it would have been moot to bring those archers if I would just move my boar boys over to that flank, so I turned them around. On this flank, my Broken Tusk Mob did engage these cavalry units. I also sent my Big Boss in to back them up, as well as this Giant. Manfred did summon a unit of zombies, though, to tie up the Giant, so he didn't quite get there. My intention was not to kill off the cavalry, but to tie them up as long as possible. That way I could deal with all the other units and prepare to deal with them. My boar boys there didn't fare too well against the dire wolves, but they did win. There's an itchy nuisance. And I managed to get my biggins in to deal some damage. Those Hex Wraiths, I wanted to catch them in that purple sun, but it kind of veered off and they charged a little bit too quick for them. I didn't want them to charge Azhag either, so I tried to pull him out, but they caught him when he was in the middle of those Error Boys, which did work out to my advantage because the Error Boys soaked a lot of that damage. one unit of direwolves did manage to survive to get a rear charge in. And Manny summoned a unit of zombies on those error boys, so they really got messed up there. And he got a very good surround on Azhag. Meanwhile, my Goblin Big Boss did tie up that unit of Black Knights long enough for my Broken Tusk mob to come back. They got quite a good rear charge in on them. My giant continues to stomp zombies. There you can see Manny was at pretty low health. I had hit him with a few spirit leeches up to this point, so he was in some dire straits here. And he also managed to break some of these big ones because he got a rear charge in on them. He was playing really well. A lot of my boys had started running at this point, unfortunately. But luckily, my boar boys had come back, so they managed to mop up some of these zombies here in the meantime. And that took them just long enough for my giant here to retaliate. Well, not really retaliate, but to get back from killing off those zombies. There's another zombie summon. Here he saw my Goblin Shaman out of position and decided to capitalize on it. Meanwhile, I cast a Spirit Leech on Manny. And I got my Big Boss in to capitalize on Manny being out in the open. He saw this and tried to pull Manny out. Azhag managed to catch him, though. With Manny down, you can see the Blood Knights and this unit of Black Knights quickly crumbled and died off. That was a huge blow to my opponent there. Meanwhile, he did manage to continue to whittle down my Night Goblin Shaman here. I'm not entirely sure if that was quite worth it, but he did take him out of the fight. Azhag managed to get into the melee with these Hex Wraiths. He has magical attacks, so that definitely hurts them a lot. I knew they were one of the few remaining threats on my opponent's team, so I wanted to take out as many of them as possible. My Doom Divers still managed to get completely unharmed at this point. I'm not sure how that happened. He just never really went for them. And with all of my boys that stopped running, I managed to pull them back in here so that they'd get a nice sandwich in. My opponent's Hex Wraiths did go in to charge those error boys off in the distance, but since they were on their own, they actually crumbled quite quickly. I was actually surprised. And then the battle here just kind of grinded out a little bit until all of the undead crumbled away. That ended in a Pyrrhic victory for me. So we brought relatively similar numbers, actually, and I lost nearly 2/3 of my army, so that was a very hard-fought battle, so GG to Activist Nation, my opponent. My team, Azhag the Slaughterer, got 94 kills, so he did excellent. My Big Boss also got 40 kills, so he did pretty well as well. After that, my Cavalry, my Giant, and my Doom Divers all got quite a lot of kills. They did quite a bit of damage, and my Doom Diver and Giant pretty much got off scot-free. hardly any damage taken between the two of them, so they did quite a lot considering they took no damage. On my opponent's team, his Blood Knights and his Hex Wraiths did pretty well. They got a decent number of kills, and the rest of his army, they did pretty decent. I mean, they exchanged a bit. It wasn't like they just got killed off without doing any damage, so that's good. But, yeah, in the end, I was able to whittle them down after I was able to take out Manny. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed watching that battle replay video, and I hope to see you all again soon. Have a good one.